If you've ever believed that kindness can come from the smallest voice in the loudest place, stay with me until the very end of this story, and before you do, gently tap the like button and subscribe, because stories like this don't just entertain, they heal. What happened that morning at the bus terminal changed several lives forever, and it all began with a little girl tugging on a stranger's sleeve and whispering words no grown-up dared to say. The bus station was already awake before the sun fully rose. Diesel fumes hung in the cold air, mixing with the smell of burnt coffee and damp coats. People rushed past each other with eyes glued to schedules and phones, dragging suitcases, dragging worries, dragging lives they barely had time to examine. On the far bench near Gate C, a Navy soldier sat perfectly still, her duffel bag at her feet, her uniform neat but tired. Her name was Petty Officer Elena Brooks, and she had learned how to sit like that during long deployments, back straight, hands folded, emotions locked behind discipline. But this morning, discipline was losing the battle. Elena stared at the floor as tears slipped down her cheeks, one by one, silent and unstoppable. She had just come back from overseas after 8 months at sea, only to receive a call she never imagined. Her mother had passed away 2 days earlier. The Red Cross message had been delayed. The funeral was over. There would be no goodbye, no last hug, no final, "I love you." The bus she was waiting for would take her to a town that now felt empty. For the first time since boot camp, Elena felt small, lost, and completely alone. She didn't notice the little pink sneakers stopping in front of her. "Ma'am," a soft voice said. Elena didn't look up. She wiped her face quickly, embarrassed. Soldiers weren't supposed to cry in bus stations. Soldiers were supposed to be strong. "Ma'am, please don't cry." Elena lifted her head then and saw a little girl, no older than 6, with 2 messy braids and a unicorn backpack nearly as big as her torso. The child's eyes were wide with concern, not curiosity, not fear, concern, pure and sincere. "I'm okay," Elena said automatically, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The little girl frowned, clearly unconvinced. She turned and looked back at a man standing a few steps away, holding 2 bus tickets and a coffee. He looked tired but kind, wearing a worn jacket and the expression of someone used to carrying responsibility. He raised his eyebrows slightly, silently asking if everything was okay. The girl turned back to Elena, leaned closer, and whispered the words that would echo in Elena's heart for years to come. "Please don't cry, ma'am, you can borrow my dad." Elena let out a surprised, broken laugh through her tears. "Borrow your dad?" The little girl nodded seriously. "He's really good at listening. And he gives hugs that make people stop being sad. You can have him for a little while." "I'll wait." The man's face turned red instantly. "Sweetheart." But Elena raised a trembling hand. "It's okay," she said softly. She looked at the girl again. "That's very generous of you." "My name's Lily," the girl said proudly. "What's yours?" "Elena." Lily smiled. "See, you already look less sad." The man stepped closer. "I'm sorry," he said awkwardly. "She's very determined." Elena shook her head. "No, she's perfect." They sat together on the bench, Lily wedged between them like she belonged there, swinging her legs and humming softly. The man introduced himself as Mark. He was a single father, traveling with Lily to visit his sister after a long year of working 2 jobs. Conversation came slowly at first, but Lily kept it moving, asking Elena about her uniform, her ship, whether she'd ever seen dolphins swim next to the boat. Elena found herself answering, really answering. And then, without planning to, she told them about her mother. About the missed funeral. About the guilt that sat like a stone in her chest. Mark listened without interrupting, just like Lily promised. When Elena's voice cracked, he didn't rush her. When she paused, he didn't fill the silence. He simply stayed. And when the tears came again, he handed her a napkin and said quietly, "I'm really sorry. That kind of loss, it doesn't follow rules." Lily reached out and held Elena's hand. "My mom went to heaven too," she said gently. "Daddy says they still hear us." Elena closed her eyes and squeezed the little hand, feeling something warm break through the cold inside her. Their buses were called minutes apart. When Elena stood to leave, Lily suddenly wrapped her arms around her waist. "You don't have to be strong all the time," she said. "My dad says even superheroes cry." Elena knelt and hugged her back, tighter than she meant to. "Thank you," she whispered. "For lending me your dad." Lily grinned. Anytime. On the bus, as the station disappeared behind her, Elena felt different. The pain was still there, but it wasn't lonely anymore. Someone had seen her. Someone had cared. Months passed. Elena returned to duty, but something inside her had shifted. She started volunteering when she could, talking to families, helping younger sailors adjust. She carried Lily's words with her on the toughest days. You don't have to be strong all the time. One rainy afternoon, nearly a year later, Elena found herself back at the same bus terminal, this time in civilian clothes. She was headed to a veterans support event she'd helped organize. As she walked past Gate C, she froze. On the same bench sat Mark and Lily. Lily looked up first. "It's her," she shouted, jumping up and running straight into Elena's arms. "The lady who borrowed my dad." Mark stood, stunned. "Elena." They laughed, the kind of laughter that only happens when life surprises you in the best way. Over coffee, Elena learned that Mark had recently lost his job but found new purpose volunteering with families of deployed service members. Inspired, he said, by a Navy soldier who reminded him how much listening matters. Elena swallowed hard. "You helped me more than you know." Lily tilted her head. "So, are you still sad?"